Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Space Muffin, and we are back with the Void Playground. I am joined by legendary signature acquirer Jumpman, as well as
Yo,
JD.
What's
JD
up?
isn't, yeah. JD, how you doing, man? You rocking the Void T-shirt?
Yep, rocking the Void t-shirt. I'm doing well. How's everybody else doing?
Jumpman, how are you?
good. Just got off work,
How was
ready
work,
to
man?
start. What?
Was work good?
Yeah, the work was good. Yeah.
All right, so today, guys, exciting podcast, very exciting podcast. We're going to be talking about Street Fighter 6. But before we do, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a nice overview of the whole franchise, okay? So in 1987, Street Fighter came out. Wasn't really impressive. It was kind of like just okay, like it was Street Fighter, like this game. Yeah, it came out. When we think of Street Fighter, we don't really think of the first one. It was yeah. 1991, Street Fighter 2 comes out, and this game kind of revitalized the arcade scene, like single-handedly revitalized the whole
Yes.
arcade scene.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna say Jumpman.
I was gonna say that I believe Street Fighter 2, up until semi recently, was the best-selling fighting game of all time.
Street Fighter
For a
2.
long time. For a long time, it was.
Street Fighter 2 influenced the entire gaming industry, like on the same level as like Street Fighter 2 did for fighting games what Doom did for first person shooters, right?
Yeah.
And what Mario did for platformers, you know what I mean? This was massive. And then they released updates to the game, Street Fighter Champion Edition, Hyper Fighting, the new challengers, and of course Street Fighter 2 Turbo. The Street Fighter 2 series even on console, this game was really great. If you had a Super Nintendo, you probably picked up Turbo. JD, what's your experience with Street Fighter before we go on to Street Fighter 3? I'm just curious.
So, my experience with Street Fighter is playing at the arcades. Again, I got the Street Fighter Turbo for the Nintendo. Huge Street Fighter fan. Been playing it for a long time. But yeah, that's my take on it. It's I really like the game. I really like the platform. Yeah. First, before we go on, what's your guys character day you guys usually go for?
That is like impossible for me because really in 2 I played like Chun-Li and Ryu, and then 3 was really Ryu, Chun-Li still, and then in 4 I switched to Poison, and then in 5 I played Laura. I played a lot of Laura. And then in 6, Kimberly is pretty good, but I still gotta play a lot of 6. But okay, so Jumpman, what about you? What character do you play in Street Fighter?
I don't know. I guess I would say Ryu, but unfortunately, the only Street Fighter games I've played is Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 6 that just came out.
I'm glad.
So I'm more of a casual.
No, that's good. That's
player.
good. So the next game in the franchise, okay, I mean, obviously, look, we had Street Fighter Alpha, we had Street Fighter the movie, we had Street Fighter Alpha 2, we had X-Men versus Street Fighter, we had Street Fighter EX, okay? These are all kind of side games, kind of experimental, dealing with different dynamics, different franchises. It wasn't really until 1997 that we got the next entry, which was Street Fighter 3. Now, Street Fighter 3 kind of started off really rocky as far as the reception from fans. Street Fighter 3 was a 2D sprite game that came out during the age of when 3D games were hot, right? Like 3D games were big, and so people really didn't like Street Fighter 3 as much. And by the time we hit Third Strike, okay, so obviously we had Second Impact that came out later in 1997. And then you had a bunch of other stuff that you had, Marvel versus Street Fighter. Then you had, Street Fighter EX2. You had Street Fighter Alpha 3. But really in 1999, Third Strike, I think Street Fighter 3 got its legs. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is considered to be one of the greatest fighting games of all time. I mean, it's really amazing. Street Fighter 3, it's definitely the zero to hero situation where it started off really crazy and then it got really good. The parry system, obviously Evo Moment, 43 or whatever with Justin Wong, like mythic moments came from Street Fighter 3 in gaming. Really the competitive scene as we know it, really a lot of that started with Street Fighter 3. When I say the competitive scene, I'm not just talking about Street Fighter, I'm talking about gaming as a whole. In 2000, we got Street Fighter EX3. In 2003, we got the Anniversary Edition. So during the time of Street Fighter 3, so from 97 really, till 2008, this was kind of a dark age for fighting games. The arcades were kind of dying. A lot of games just
Bad case.
it was kind of a dark age. Having said that, during the dark age, we did get some of the best fighting games. We got Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We got Soul Calibur 2. I think DOA 3 came out during this time period. But there was kind of you could see fighting games were kind of on the decline. JD, I don't know, how do you feel about the 2000s for fighting games?
For me, I really don't know about like you guys, but for me, I still like playing Street Fighters. Especially like in the arcades and stuff. Every time I chance I get, I don't go to the arcade that much back when I was a kid. So every time there was like at the mall, there was an arcade, I'll always try to play Street Fighter. So yeah, when it comes to Street Fighter, it has like a little space in my heart because I go to arcades and I play it. But other than that, I didn't really notice because I was pretty much a kid back in the day. I didn't notice much about the whole Street Fighter or the fighting industry, the gaming industry, fighting games industry was being affected at all. I didn't realize it.
So, I had dabbled in Street Fighter. I had fiddled around.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get serious until.
Oh yeah, same. I didn't get serious either
until Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I've been serious with any fighting game outside of Super Smash Brothers.
Okay, so so Jumpman, we both kind of grew up in the same area. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I have played Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
So I don't know if you remember at Viking. Do you remember Viking Skate Country?
Yes.
Okay, so they had I believe either was a Marvel 1 or Marvel 2 cabinet there, and that was kind of my kind of fighting game experience. I think a 7-Eleven, one of the 7-Elevens had Street Fighter 2, but I didn't really get to experience the arcade. Really, Soul Calibur 2. Like when we'd go to like Reno, we'd go to like Circus. They had like an arcade and they had like Soul Calibur 2. That was like the big, and they had Tekken Tag as well.
Yeah. Although you should know there is a arcade in the Reading Mall now, or the Mount Shasta Mall.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
Visited, yeah. Next time I go, we'll have to do a video. So,
yeah, they have all the Mario Kart machines there.
They do, yeah. So there was kind of a dark age, guys. Not saying that there was bad games coming out, but the zeitgeist wasn't there. And then Street Fighter 4 came out in 2008, and it rocked the fighting game world. It took the industry by storm. Street Fighter 3 had a terrible launch. Street Fighter 4 had a much better launch. Obviously, and Street Fighter 4 just aged like fine wine. Everybody's got their favorite version of Street Fighter 4. Some people like Super Street Fighter 4. Some people like Street Fighter 4 for the 3DS. They made a 3DS version. And then obviously Ultra Street Fighter 4, in 2014. So during this time, we had Tekken, Tekken Cross Street Fighter and Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. Some side games that were pretty good. We didn't have quite as long of a hiatus, and we're gonna talk about Street Fighter 5 here pretty soon. But really, I can't stress how much Street Fighter 4 like just brought everything back. You know what I mean? It was just like a really good return to form. Not that Street Fighter 3 was bad, but Street Fighter 4 really it goes down. So there's kind of a pattern if you guys haven't noticed. Odd Street Fighter games have terrible launches. Even Street Fighter games have good launches. So Street Fighter 2 and 4 and 6 have amazing launches.
Yep.
And then
Yeah,
1, 3, and 5 had terrible launches. So let's talk about Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
I was very hyped for this game, but I did not purchase it. I actually boycotted this game when it came out. JD, you were one of the people who bought the vanilla version. What is your experience with vanilla Street Fighter 5?
So with the vanilla Street version of Street Fighter 5, it's an actually okay game. I didn't buy it at launch either. I bought it when I was like years later when it was on sale on Black Friday. It was like $10, so I just got it. But other than that, like it's pretty like it's your standard out of the mill fighting game. Nothing to write home about really. No.
Okay, so here's kind of my experience with Street Fighter 5. Okay. Okay, so Street Fighter 5 came out and it was just bare bones, dude. Like there was barely any characters, there was no arcade mode, there was no story. It was just nothing basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually did really good in the competitive scene. People really liked Street Fighter 5 in the competitive scene, but the casual audience, which is most people, they did not like the lack of content. Now, years later, my understanding is that Capcom was in a bad situation. They had to release Street Fighter 5 in the shape that it was, or else maybe potentially the company was going to tank.
I didn't hear about that. That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So in 2016 they released Street Fighter 5. 2017 they released Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate, or no, not Ultimate, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
And
that game.
That game also flopped. That game was pretty bad. So they kind of had to make a decision. Were they going to pour their resources into Marvel, or were they going to pour their resources into Street Fighter? And because of the whole Disney thing, and they had to get the licensing and all this crazy stuff, it was just easier to probably go with Street Fighter. That's my speculation. Having said that, Street Fighter 5 is another example of zero to hero. So in 2018, they released Arcade Edition, which vastly improved the game. Street Fighter 5, in my opinion, has one of the best arcade modes. It just has a really fun arcade mode. So I got Arcade Edition, and then obviously Champion Edition came out, and it was amazing. Street Fighter 5 ended up being a really good game. You had characters like Seth, and you had what's his face, Gil. You had G. You had really amazing characters throughout the years. Poison, I like this version of Poison in Street Fighter 5. I like her more than I like her in Street Fighter 4.
Mm-hmm.
And so Street Fighter 5 was another zero to hero situation. But that launch, man, like I boycotted it. I got King of Fighters 14 instead of Street Fighter 5. I'm like, I'm not doing this, But kind of knowing the story of Street Fighter 5, I am really happy with with the way the game turned out. I'm happy with how they treated the community and how they kind of really fixed the game. Obviously, like I said, we got spin-off games like Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers for the Switch. Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers for the Switch, which wasn't that great, but this kind of brings us to today. Street Fighter 6. Jumpman, what are your thoughts on the game off the top of your head?
Yeah, Street Fighter 6 really got me interested because of its single-player campaign mode, mainly the World Tour mode, specifically, because it's something completely different from what any other fighting game has done, I think.
Yeah, so let's talk about the modes real quick. So before we get into World Tour, so you have Fighting Grounds. This is where you can just hop right into a game, and you got your standard modes, arcade mode and all that fun stuff. Then you have your Battle Hub, where you kind of go into a little hub world, and you can do avatar battles. You can play older Capcom games. You can buy stuff for your avatar and all that fun stuff. It's actually really, really fun. It is really fun. And then, of course, World Tour mode, which is we're going to talk about that in a second. So this Street Fighter game has launched with more content than probably any fighting game ever created. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think like, okay, so in my opinion, okay, so let's talk about, World Tour real quick. So World Tour, we have seen things like this. We've seen similar, really expansive single player modes with hub worlds. We just haven't seen it like this. So Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 had a nice
Mhm.
like hub system where you're kind of like a 3D kind of running around.
Okay.
There was Mortal Kombat, obviously. I think Sub-Zero, things like that. But we haven't seen it put together like this. Soul Calibur 6 had a really amazing, character creator, and you had the really great story that from like NetherRealm Studios. So like we've seen really good single player like fighting games. We just haven't seen this package. We've never seen it like this, where you have an amazing mythic level character creator. Like I've seen people create
Yeah.
Kratos. I've seen people create like all kinds of hilarious avatars. Like that is a game in and of itself. Literally just the avatar creating is like its own game. It's hilarious.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's so many features. I thought that it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's like they looked at Soul Calibur 6 and were like, we got to do better than that.
Well, the hub world is pretty extensive too for being just a single player campaign in a 2D fighting game.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So World Tour mode, like, okay, I'd played the demo, but like it's kind of been blowing me away. Obviously, like I think the story the story itself probably needs a little bit of work, but the actual,
Yeah.
I don't know, Jumpman, what do you think about the actual world that they've created?
The story is okay, it's passable, but it's just the gameplay is what's pretty good. But there
It's
are
really
some
fun, dude.
there probably might be some nitpicks in the gameplay that could be improved upon, but they definitely put in like some RPG like elements. I'd say like leveling up and
Yes.
side quests that you can do even.
Yes. So yeah,
Side missions.
for those of you who like RPGs, for those of you who like beat 'em ups, like this is the game for you.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I really like? I like the fact that you can like have different styles. You know what I mean, Jumpman?
Yeah.
Like you can like have like Chun-Li style or Luke style, and
Yes.
like you can kind of
That's
combine
cool
them
too.
together. It's really like, and then like the fact that you can like kind of deck out your character like in different outfits and stuff.
And you
JD,
can go oh.
oh no, we're gonna say Jumpman.
Oh yeah, I was like, you could go up to literally anyone in the world and be like, "I'm gonna fight you." And
Oh yeah, dude.
they're
Yeah,
gonna fight.
that's it. That is, it's amazing. So this is the
Even the police
first-
officers. You can even fight the police officers, which surprises the heck out of me.
this is of the first Street Fighter game where
Uh-huh.
you can go on the street and fight people.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You know, if you've played like Fire Emblem Three Houses, where they
Mhm.
introduce like this hub world that you can explore
Mhm.
in between the
Yeah.
gameplay. That's
Yeah.
basically what they did to Street Fighter, where there's an
Oh.
actual hub world just like that, and
It's
then
like
you
a
go
full
into the 2D.
blown.
And then you go into the 2D street fighting kind of gameplay that you're used to. But then you go back and
Okay.
forth.
Yeah. So this game, like, okay, in my opinion, alone, just for the World Tour mode, I think it's worth the purchase. Would you agree with that, John?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Like we haven't even talked about characters or any other crazy stuff, but just for the World Tour mode alone, I think it's worth it. Just because of like how
Yeah,
hilarious.
They did something wildly different that got a casual person like myself interested.
Oh, dude, yeah, it is amazing, and I got the deluxe edition.
Yeah. I really wish I got the deluxe edition in hindsight. I wasn't sure. I was thinking about it.
Oh,
But-
dude,
Yeah.
yeah, you can still get the battle. You can still get the battle.
Yeah, I can still
character
get
pass.
it if I want to.
But like,
But,
okay, like I mean, this game, I can see people playing this game like indefinitely because there's just so much content. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
There's so much
And,
crazy stuff.
As a casual player myself also, I love that there's the modern control option, which makes it easier so you're not having so that you can see all the cool moves that they can do without having to memorize a whole line of buttons to press.
100%. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
3 modes. There's classic, modern, and then there's like an easier.
Yeah,
that's, like,
I've just been
super
doing the modern controls because I'm a casual person. I'm not expert. I don't know all the combinations.
So let's talk to JD real quick. JD, can we talk to you?
Yeah. What's up?
JD, based
All
off
right,
of
I'm
what we're saying, based off of what we're talking about, based off of what you're seeing, what are your thoughts?
So far, from the game footage I've seen, from the pictures and what you guys are telling me, this is the type of Street Fighter that I'll be really interested in, and it's the type of Street Fighter we're all been looking forward to. For me, I haven't jumped the gun to pick it up yet myself, is because what happened in Street Fighter V. Again, it was just what you said, was just bare bones, not that great. On top of that, I am also, if I were to pick up Street Fighter 6, I also want to pick up a fight stick with it as well.
100%.
So, yeah, that's another thing stopping me, is that I want to get a fight stick with the game as well.
So let's talk a little bit about the art style and the aesthetic of the game. It kind of goes back to Street Fighter 3, where very very hip hop vibe, but it's like super, like it's got so much personality, like it's got so much depth. Jumpman, how do you feel about the art style, the presentation, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, the art style I like. Yeah, graphics are good. The music is good.
Yeah, the music's amazing. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I have Street Fighter 6 on my PS5, and it's like just when I highlight the icon on the PS5 menu, like I love that song. Like that really got me pumped up.
Yes, so we have to talk about the roster real quick. So the base roster includes Cammy, a new character, Lily. She's kind of like she's like a Native American type character, I think. And then you have obviously Zangief. You have JP. He's kind of like your Psycho Energy character. Marissa's new. You have Manon. You have DJ. E Honda's on the roster. You got Dalsim, Blanca, Ken, Jury, Kimberly. She's really amazing. Kimberly, like her style is just like every character has like this amazing style, like Guy, and even old characters like Guile and Chun-Li. Like their styles are really great. So, anyways, but yeah, Jamie is I believe a new character. You have Luke and then Ryu. The roster is solid, and then we're getting some DLC characters. I think Akuma is one of them. Rashid is one of them, and then a couple others. But solid roster, guys. Solid gameplay. The gameplay is it's so okay. I don't know. The only way to describe the gameplay, like Street Fighter gameplay is always good, even in the bad games, quote unquote. Street Fighter V had a really great gameplay, but this is on another level, dude. They have this whole drive system, and it's like so aesthetically pleasing. Have you unlocked the drive system yet?
Yeah.
Jumpman?
Yeah. I got a brief glimpse of the drive system. It is fun, I will say, from an art styles point of view.
Yeah, it's super fun. It mixes up the game so well. So every single character has different ways they can use. You have your drive meter, then obviously your regular meter, and it's so cool. Like, I think the biggest problem with Street Fighter V, in my opinion, was like there was a lack of creativity in you as a player being able to express your fighting style. In other words, like let's say we're all Ken players, right? You kind of start seeing the same Ken tropes, right? In this game, like we could all play Ken and then kind of have like a different way we play Ken and make it viable. You know what I mean? I know the game just came out, and so obviously everyone's experimenting with the meta, but these systems that they have in place are so buttery smooth. Like they're so crispy. You know what I mean? Okay, look, guys, this is just me. This is just my opinion as a longtime Street Fighter fan. This is my opinion. It's a huge statement that I'm about to make. Okay. This has been the best launch of any Street Fighter game ever. Bigger than 2, bigger than 4. Like, okay, maybe not bigger, but like just like better. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, Jumpman, do you agree or disagree?
Maybe. It's hard to say.
I mean, the content is rich.
Street Fighter 6 is definitely doing well.
Like, I mean, I think it's what sold. Like, let's see, it sold over like 1 million.
It sold
copies
over 1
already.
million copies already, I think.
It's been out for 11 days, guys. 11 days.
It's doing really well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like this game. God, dude. Like, I was shocked because so JD and I just did the Diablo 4 podcast. Both Diablo 4 and this game have shocked me. Like I didn't. I thought we were kind of past these days of really like really, really, really amazing games coming out, but they got released within days of each other, and I don't know, just the buttery smoothness of it, and then the net code is just out the gate. The net code is amazing. Avatar battles. Have you got to do Avatar battles yet, Jumpman?
The Avatar battles.
Yeah, it's in the hub, the battle hub.
Oh, okay. No, I have. I've been mainly doing the World Tour.
Oh god,
I haven't gotten through that yet.
yeah. So this game has like a bunch of fun Avatar stuff. The mini games are hilariously fun, and the mini games actually really help you with your gameplay. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the roster. JD, what are your thoughts on the roster?
I'm liking the way that like the new characters look. On top of that, I like the way that the old characters look. I'm looking at Chun-Li, like I'm liking her art style. I'm looking at like Ken and everyone else. It's like wow, it's like their art style is very nice.
Yeah, remember in Street Fighter V, Ken had like the banana hair.
Yeah, which was very awkward and very like I didn't like it. But like the costumes design for each character, like I really like it. It's like wow.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited, man. Like I'm so excited for like what's to come. So Ed and Akai, or they're the other DLC characters. So Akuma, Rashid, Ed, and Akai, or Akai, AKI, Akai.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be the first year DLC. And so what's cool about that is you can use your avatar and you can get their moves, and like I'm sure there's going to be some aesthetic content that comes with that as well. Yeah, wow. I'm really excited like for the future of this game. This game definitely is definitely super duper solid. Jumpman, let me ask you a question. Is this a game that you see yourself playing in the future when they release DLC?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely could see myself revisiting Street Fighter 6. Especially like maybe after World Tour, like yeah, I could definitely see myself playing the 2D fighting traditional mode with a friend or whatever.
Yeah, they got arcade mode and all that fun stuff too.
Yeah, I could see myself coming back to it and getting the DLC fighters to play as those.
So, let's talk about Smash Bros. Real quick. I know that's kind of so Jumpman, you are coming from Smash Bros. So coming from Smash Bros, how do you feel? Like, obviously, you're a massive Smash Bros. Fan. Do you feel like I don't know? Do you feel like this game is like holds up, or do you feel like this game? I know they're obviously two very different games, but
I guess. I mean, Super Smash Brothers, it's kind of its own thing. It's not like traditional 2D fighting games.
What I appreciate about Smash Bros is I believe you can play as Ryu obviously in Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept the combo system. Like you can input the same combos in Smash Bros that you can in Street Fighters.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we had a huge Smash Bros group in our area, and a lot of Smash 4. Obviously we played Smash Bros Ultimate as well. I don't know. I mean, Street Fighter, like I said, I come from a lot of 3D fighting games as well, like Tekken, Virtua Fighter.
They have Kazuya in Smash Ultimate.
Yeah. JD, what are some of your favorite fighting games?
Besides Street Fighter, I also have to agree that Smash is my my next one lineup. Melee is still my favorite one. The one on the Xbox. I mean, not Xbox. Oh gosh, the one on the GameCube. The one on the GameCube is still my favorite one. But yeah, other than that, it's just Street Fighter and Smash.
So, King of Fighters 15 came out a while back, and at the time when Street Fighter 4 came out, like King of Fighters 15 was actually a more content-rich game. I think a lot of people bought KOF 14 because it was an alternative to Street Fighter 5, right? That was myself included. Street Fighter 6 blows pretty much all the competition out of the water, as far as fighting games being released. Like, sorry, Street Fighter not 5, Street Fighter 6. It blows all the competition out, and return to form, guys. Like this has been a return to form. It's in the RE engine, so that's pretty cool. So for those of you who don't know, I think so Street Fighter 5 was in the Unreal 4 engine, I believe. And the thing is, like, Street Fighter 5 started to kind of had that like Unreal lighting.
Mhm.
Whereas the RE engine, they're able to do more fun stuff. For those of you who don't know, the first game that was released in the RE engine was Resident Evil 7. And then obviously they did, Resident Evil 2 remake and then Devil May Cry 5, and all that fun stuff. But Street Fighter 6 is in this engine as well, and I don't know. I think it was a good decision to put it in this engine. Yeah, guys. Cross-platform play. So I believe like PS5 players can play with Xbox players, can play with PC players, can play with PS4 players. That is amazing. I can't wait to see the next edition, guys. Any other stuff that we want to say about Street Fighter 6 before we're going to wrap up the podcast?
Hadouken.
Hadouken.
I don't know. No. I think I'm good. I mean, I've been playing the World Tour mode, and that gameplay there is fun. It's just different from completely different. It doesn't like playing World Tour. It almost doesn't look like you're playing a Street Fighter game.
Yeah,
Really?
that's the other thing. Like,
that's how different it is. It doesn't look like you're playing Street Fighter when you're in the hub world exploring.
It really is different. And what I like about the hub worlds, it's not just like a little BS hub world, excuse my language, but
Yes.
like it is a full-blown, like, it's a full-blown, like, you can explore, you can check stuff out, you can...
It's pretty in-depth for what it is.
You can, like, do different mini games, you can do different challenges, you can customize your character, you can learn new moves, you can do RPG type fun stuff, you can take your character into the avatar battles. We haven't even talked about rank play and all the other just the traditional Street Fighter stuff, but it's everything and then more. And I don't know, like, this is definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, for me, like, this is out the gate, dude. Like, everything has personality. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I want to mention that, like, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but like the level of care that has gone into this game is just amazing. Like, the level of like detail in the characters, the level of detail in the world, the level of the systems, or like I said, the level of detail there. I just think that. I don't know. I just think that this game's gonna like for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years and beyond. This game is gonna hold up. I mean, unless they do something really stupid, but yeah. Okay, JD, real quick, characters that you're looking forward to seeing that have not been announced yet. Like, what characters are you looking forward to seeing in Street Fighter 6 in the future?
In terms of characters, what is the ones that you said that's coming in DLC pretty soon?
We have Akuma and Ed
and
Rashid.
Hold on, let me see.
Akai.
I don't know if I can answer that question. I've been casual.
I'll have to look more into that, but for now, I have to say the characters that they introduced so far, they look really interesting, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. Yeah,
I'm about to buy the game again for PC, honestly.
Oh, really?
Just to check it out. So, for those of you who are playing the game, Hori makes good stuff for entry level stuff. If you guys are fight pad players, there's the Hori stuff. They're really expensive on eBay right now. Mine just came in, my Hori Fight Commander 2, which needs to have a firmware update in order for it to be good. Characters I'm looking forward to, Laura. I know people are going to judge me for playing Laura, but I would like to see Laura. I like grappling characters, and I kind of like her electric stuff. Poison, she's got the whip. I like to see her. Who else would I like to see? Obviously, I'm a big fan of Evil Ryu. So either Kage or Evil Ryu would be kind of cool. Bison is gone. Obviously, been replaced by JP. I'd like to see Bison.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of who are we missing? Like Blanca's in the game. Like a lot of good. Like this is a pretty good roster. I mean, obviously, like Seth would be cool. I don't know, like maybe some Final Fight characters, would be pretty cool. But I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the current roster. Obviously, we can name every single Street Fighter character that's ever been in the game, and it'd be kind of interesting to see them done the Street Fighter 6 style. But so far, like my favorite character is Kimberly. She is incredibly fun to play. Marissa's kind of fun. She's pretty cool. Cammy, yeah, like every character is fun to play. So, guys, we are going to wrap up the podcast. I can go on and on. The one thing I don't like about this game is the logo.
Yeah, what
The
is your
logo?
downside?
That's it. They're just the logo. Everything else I like. So
Okay.
So Space is the logo. What about you, Jetman? What is the con of this game for you so far?
I mean, the story might be the weakest part. I would say, as far as the world tours goes.
I can agree with that. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
would say
I don't have a problem with the logo unless you're talking about them going from Roman numerals to the actual number. I
yeah,
noticed
there was a huge controversy about the logo when it came out, but I'm halfway joking. Like the logo looks better now. So yeah, like I would say the only con really is the story, and it's really not even that bad though. It's just it's the weakest part of the game. It's probably the weakest part of the game, but it more than makes up for it with the mode itself, in my opinion.
Yeah, the gameplay more makes up for.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, but other than that, like I mean, I can nitpick like a couple things, but like I would say it's just I would say like the actual story, but the actual story mode is amazing. So it's kind of like a double edge. But if you guys want traditional stories, like the arcade mode is like still in the game, and it's got the voice acting, it's got the panels, like stuff that you're used to.
Okay, you just reminded me of something. There's when they go into like text dialogue, which is kind of similar to what Fire Emblem Three Houses does, where you have that text dialogue. But I kind of wish the voice actors would have actually said those lines in the text dialogue.
I agree.
Like Fire Emblem, but they don't talk full sentences. Only in the cutscenes. Only in the brief cutscenes.
Yeah.
I just wish they could have done that during the text dialogues, like in Fire Emblem.
Yeah, so I don't really have any other complaints about the game. I can't think of any. The netcode is really good. The game runs really well, actually, like out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, cool, guys.
Okay.
Well, this has been another episode of The Void Playground, guys. Stay tuned for more episodes. We are going to be uploading now on Mondays at 11 a.m. PST, as well as Fridays 11 a.m. PST. So 11 a.m. you can expect a video, and thevoid.gg. Closing statements, Jumpman.
Hadouken.
This is like our third closing statements. JD closing
It
statements.
really is. We just get more.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, same. So.
All right, cool, guys. Well, check out Street Fighter 6, and if you guys do play, add Jumpman and I, and we'll maybe play with you guys, okay?
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah, see you.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next podcast.